Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we have here is a 2015 Scion XB. This XB is painted in classic silver metallic. On the key, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, and panic. Front door panels have storage with bottle holders. It does have power windows, locks, and mirrors. It has a dark charcoal cloth interior. Both front seats are manually adjusted. Now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. Scion was a sub-brand of Toyota that was around between 2003 and 2016. The Scion brand was an attempt by Toyota to appeal to a younger demographic of car buyers. One way was having a simplified way of buying. Each new Scion had a non-negotiable price as part of Scion's pure price sales policy, so the price you saw was what you paid. Their cars were all compact or smaller in size and were intended to be affordable, with a distinctive, funkier, and sportier flair than their Toyota brethren. Although their best-selling model was the TC, I'd say by far the most recognizable and iconic Scion was this, the XB. So the XB was a boxy, tall hatchback that was made for two generations, spanning from model years 2004 through 2015. This 2015 model we have here represents the second and final generation of the XB, codenamed E150, which was made from model years 2008 through 2015. While the first generation XB was a subcompact, the second gen XB, derived from the 09 to 13 Corolla, grew in size to become a compact car. If you've seen a first generation XB, you know that it took boxy to an extreme level. A lot of those Japanese K cars are just as boxy, but in America, the original Scion XB looked like nothing else on the road. But for the second generation XB, like we have here, Scion toned it down a bit with the boxiness. It's still a boxy-shaped car, but the styling took on a much more streamlined and rounded look. It was a lot less controversial. I personally like the look of both XB generations, the original for being such a bold and daring design that truly stands out from the sea of boring sedans and crossovers, and the second gen XB for being, in my opinion, an actually pretty appealing and aggressive looking little hatchback. Aside from a few minor cosmetic touch-ups and new added features here and there, the second gen XB didn't really get too many radical updates from its 2008 to 2015 run. The US market 2015 Scion XB came in traditional Scion fashion, one sole trim level. However, there was also a limited production special edition that year, which was a tie-in with snowboarding apparel company 686. The sole engine was a 2.4-liter inline-4 with 158 horsepower. Front-wheel drive was standard, and you can choose between either a 5-speed manual or this car's 4-speed automatic transmission. It has a centrally mounted instrument cluster. It only has two analog gauge needles, those being for your tachometer and fuel gauge, with everything else being digital. On this side you have your outside temperature and your digital clock, digital speedometer in this display, go between odometer and trip computers, and then there's a smaller digital info display which you can go through via this. You have your average fuel economy, range, that kind of stuff. It has a 3-spoke design, multifunctional steering wheel. As for controls, On this spoke you have your audio controls, and then down here is your cruise control stalk. The steering wheel is tilt and telescopic. Your traction control toggle, panel dimmer, aforementioned power mirror controls, a little bit of storage for the driver, climate vent for the driver. On this side is your exterior lighting stalk, and on this side is your wiper stalk. Going down the center of the interior, obviously your gauge cluster right here, your central climate vents along with your touchscreen head unit / infotainment system. We'll go over the system more in a bit. Your passenger airbag indicator. Right here you have your set of single zone manual climate controls. Very simple, recirculation in different zones, rear defrost and fan speed, and air conditioning and temperature. Your hazard switch. There is a 12-volt power outlet on the bottom of this console. Entering reverse does reveal a backup camera. You have 2 cup holders along with a storage area. The parking brake is hand operated. It has an adjustable front center armrest with storage, as well as a USB port and an aux port. A little bit of a storage shelf above the glove box. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors. Manually dimming rear view. Your overhead lighting. And there are grab handles for all 4 corners. Here is the touchscreen infotainment system in this 2015 XB. You have AM, FM, along with Bluetooth audio streaming, and you also have a CD player in this one still. Seek track buttons, volume power knob, tuning knob. Bring up a map if you have that available. Phone, various settings. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is automatic down. This XB is riding on 16-inch steel rims with gloss black hubcaps. Powering the XB is Toyota's 2AZ FE 2.4-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 engine. It's an all-aluminum power plant with dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, and VVT-I technology. Horsepower is rated at 158 at 6,000 RPM, while torque is rated at 162 pound-feet at 4,000 RPM. Power is sent to the front wheels of this XB via the optional 4-speed automatic transmission with manual shiftability. Running on regular unleaded with a 14-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates are 22 mpg in the city and 27 mpg on the highway. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear suspension. Stopping the car are 4-wheel disc brakes with the front ones being ventilated. Curb weight rounds up to 3,100 pounds for automatic transmission XBs. happens when you drive inside. (60/40) split folding rear seats. Rear passengers do get 2 cup holders. Codecs on either side. And as for space back here, I'm about 6'1" with the driver's seat in a pretty comfortable driving position for myself. And footroom is great, legroom's pretty good, and headroom is very good. That's just the benefits of having a boxy-shaped vehicle. It feels very roomy in here. Even though this is technically in the compact class, it feels so much larger in here than it actually is, as far as I can tell. I know the driving position is kind of different because you feel a lot further back than usual. The windshield is like kind of further away from you. But even then, even though you feel further back in the front seat, back seat still has a lot of room. Single exhaust, rear wiper. Cargo space in the XB is 11.6 cubic feet with the back seats up and 69.9 cubic feet with the back seats folded down. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2015 Scion XB. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.